you're a savvy guy. You talked about getting your real estate license. You talked about brand deals and whatnot. You're a person who understands the power of your worth, your value. So these days we see a lot of athletes who are developing their own brand outside of the game, like outside of the lines, and taking like their performance on the field and using that to amplify their name. So what's your take on personal brands? You've been developing your own, and like what are your thoughts on how important that is or how you go about building one of those?
Yeah, I think it's a huge deal. It was something that didn't really come to me until 2022. And it's a hard thing to do when you're a rookie. Like when you start getting out of the comfort zone of like, oh yeah, I want to build my brand and, make the social media videos in the locker room or whatever it is that you're doing. It's like, it can be a little bit intimidating. But in 2022, I was like, you know what? I'm not worrying about anything else. I'm going to like actively try to start building like my Instagram and my TikTok. And I just started kind of seeing like what was trending, like from a sports perspective. And I just kind of started like using those things and just putting my own spin on them. And I think like one of the first videos, like where I, quote unquote, like blew up, was I was doing something. Oh yeah, I did some like visor video, and I think like it got like 60,000 views in like less than like a few hours. And then I was like, oh crap, like this is something like you can actually do to like be something. And then I started like thinking about like, okay, repurposing them from TikTok to Instagram and kind of being like on like one plane through all these social media platforms. And then I started posting more of those videos on my Instagram, because like TikTok for me personally, I wasn't really bought into I guess the sustainability of it, and like the hype behind it. Like, yes, it's very easy to get big quick on there, but I think there's more sustainability on like platforms like YouTube or Instagram, X now, just to name a few of those. But for me, it was starting to post on there. And I think I had about like 3,000 followers when I first came into the CFL, maybe less than that, honestly. And when I started posting these reels on there, like the Instagram algorithm just started like putting me out to just so many different people. Like I was getting followed likes. Like I had to turn my notifications off because it was like every single minute of the day, like someone was liking some sort of content piece that I had put out and was getting some sort of new follower. And then before I knew it, I think from 2022, like the start of the season to the end of the season, I think I went from like 2,500 or like 3,000 followers to like 6,000 followers, which is about, or like 5,000 followers, which is about like where I'm at now. And I think in saying that, like building your brand as an athlete is like one of the best things you can do, because it sets you up for outside and after football, when things maybe not be coming in, like this 6-month time period where I'm off, or we all know this game is a short game, and you're not in it for very long, but you have a very big platform while you're here, because a lot of people look up to you, people listen to you. You say, hey, roll your knee pads up like this, like on Instagram, like someone's going to do it, like millions of people will watch it, and follow you for that. So I think in saying that, like being able to build that brand, if I didn't have that brand built up like that, I don't think I would be able to have monetized it in the way that I have the last 2 years. Because prior to that, I wasn't really monetizing it at all. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm posting on Instagram, I'll try to post a funny video, that type of thing. But like when you actively try to do it, it's like a job, right? You have to do it every day, show up for work,
Right.
and kind of put your head down. So I slowed down a little bit in 2023, mainly because I was just more focusing on football, with the
Contract year,
contract
baby.
coming up. Yeah, for me it was like, okay, if it's not contributing to me being the best football player, like it's not there. So it is something I'm picking back up more on now in this offseason, and heading into the future of my career, just because it's something that I enjoy doing and something I want to do. Probably when I'm done is some sort of media within the CFL, or covering the CFL, whatever that covers, or maybe it's my own show of some sorts. I do have something in the works with another CFL player on my team
There you go.
coming up here. So I won't give too much insight into that, but there will be a nice little commercial coming out for that here in the next little bit. But
There you go.
that in saying that, because of what I've done in the past 2 or 3 years, and what I've learned on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, from people that have done it and have had success with it, that has now in turn allowed me to do things like this, like come on your podcast and being able to do my own podcast here in the next couple of weeks, and being able to run my Instagram properly and being able to monetize it, and so just add another level on that end.
Let me ask you this. You talked about monetizing it. You have way more followers than the average person who's just posting pictures of their family might, but you don't necessarily have hundreds of thousands of followers on your social media, but you're still able to monetize it. So like what is the strategy, or what tactics do you use to approach a brand? Or like, how do you have like a pitch deck or like a one sheet? Like how do you even start the conversation of like, I'm here for service and like, let's work together? Like, what does that process look like?
Right. Yeah. I think, Mason Bennett was one of the guys that kind of started, I guess, turning me on to the brand deals things a little bit more, in 2022. I think Endy mattresses, was a big thing. Like, it's like almost every CFL player got like an Endy mattress, it kind of seemed like, but, he was just like, hey, this is the message I sent them. Like, just copy it, put your own spin on it and send it to them. So I did that. They reached out really quickly and like, yeah, we'd love to partner with you. We'll send you a mattress, take a picture of it, post about it, whatever. And that's all you got to do. So, and that was like $1,000 mattress. So then I was like, okay, well, how can I do this where it's like, I get things that like, not necessarily that I didn't want to bed, but like I get more of like the money side of it, instead of just like doing like, oh yeah, you get a free product. And especially like when you're a smaller, creator or, social media influencer, it is a lot tougher to get, for sure. The major, like, I mean, Nike, any of those, if you don't have over, like 50K or 100K thousand followers, like, yeah, you can probably kiss those ones goodbye. But there's so many small businesses and companies that most of them like align with, I mean, not most of them, but there are ones like out there that will align with what you believe in or what you like or what you support. And almost always they're willing to work with you. Just like they don't have people always reaching out to them. So I would say for people that are looking to, I guess, get into that is nowadays is take advantage of AI. Like with all these different AI, Chat GPT, it was a thing that I kind of started to use even more now, which is building out better, more well put together emails that I could send off to marketing executives and people that are, the way I sometimes talk isn't the way I look on email. Like we have our, the person we are when we're talking to our friends and, having a drink or whatever. And then there's the person that's an email that sounds professional and can sound a little bit different and maybe make you think like, oh, hey, this guy kind of knows what he's doing. We should do a brand deal with him. And then from that end, now it's on you to make sure you do the best possible promotion that you possibly can to make sure that that company's happy. And either they'll come back for more, or it just looks good on your resume, so to speak, when you go to the next brand company, because you can say, hey, look, this is what I did for this company. This is kind of what I received from them in terms of payment or product. How do we make a deal work here? How do I promote your brand? I'm a pro athlete. Like people will listen to me. I'm in the no space. And my brand is only going to continue to grow. So I think that's the value add on there. I think like Hercules Tires, that one of the people that I did a brand deal with for some tires for my truck, they're still posting the same video that I did back in 2022. Like they'll repost it every so often now and still use that content and still tag me in it. And it's still building my brand in that sense. So definitely just like, you won't get anywhere if you don't start somewhere and fail a few times, maybe send a few emails like just off yourself and just see like, how, what you need to do to work on better, watch YouTube videos, like everything you want to learn is out there on the internet nowadays. Mm-hmm. So that would just definitely be my advice, is just like go out there, look at something on YouTube, find a video, it'll teach you how to do it. And then, you put your own spin on it and go from there.
That's so good. Jimmy, you've been